Yes, everybody, the Football Manager 2022 beta is finally here, and today I'm going to be giving you 10 free agents that you should look at if you're managing a non-league side. Few things to note. Obviously we are in the beta, so by full release a couple of these may well have changed, and obviously if you're playing on the winter update, which may well be another 6 months or so from now, a lot of these players may well have been snapped up. We are playing on the standard large database as well, so if you're playing on an even bigger database, there may well be some more hidden gems for you to take a look at. But as always, guys, be sure to enjoy today's list, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's jump into it. So the first player on my list is Jordy Gaviria. He is an Ecuadorian left-sided player, predominantly as a left back, and also can play left wing back. And if you really want him to, he can play further up the pitch as a left midfielder and an attacking midfielder left. He's actually a player that I used last year in my journeyman save on Football Manager and was almost a perfect signing for a non-league team. I think you're probably looking at a sort of conference premier caliber player here. He's got some really strong attributes. Physically, he's very, very good. Crossing as well and dribbling. So I think if you want to play quite an attacking system, an attacking fullback, Jordy Gaviria is your man. Player number 2 now, and we're looking at the 21-year-old midfielder Melvin Sitti, who can play central midfield and attacking midfield centre. The Frenchman has got some really, really tidy attributes. In particular, a really nice load of mental attributes, really consistent throughout. Physically, he's really decent as well, and just one of those players all round who's going to do a job for you. You quickly look at his history here, and you can see he played for Norwich for a little while. Norwich actually paid 450k for this guy, and now you've got the opportunity to be signing a player of that calibre and quality at non-league level. Definitely one to keep your eye out for. Player number 3 now, and we're moving on to a winger. It's somebody that can play on both sides of the pitch. It's Sherwin Seedorf, the Dutch winger, formerly of Wolves, Bradford City, and also played for Motherwell most recently as well. And although this guy probably isn't as complete as some of the other players that you will see on the list, he still offers some really strong attributes in the areas that you need for these players. At non-league level, really, what you want to be looking at is quick players, good players on the ball, and Sherwin Seedorf sort of got this really. Decent flair, good dribbling, he's not slow, he's got 14 pace and acceleration, so if you want a winger who I think you could sign at probably either level of non-league, Sherwin Seedorf is probably the man. We're moving on to player number 4 now, and I would say this guy is probably one of the best players on this list, and I believe he's definitely gettable at non-league level, but I think you're going to be fighting off 1 or 2 Football League sides for his signature. Rodel Richards is a 20-year-old striker, formerly of Tottenham Hotspur, and my word, he has some really good attributes. And I tell you now, if you were able to sign this guy at non-league level, he's going to fire you to promotion. I can guarantee it, unless your tactics are a little bit ropey. Really strong physicals, really strong technicals in the right areas, great mentals as well. That 14 finishing for me is going to be key. So get that ball to him in and around the area, and he's going to be putting that ball in the back of the net. Like I said, I think you're going to be fighting off the signature of a couple of Football League sides, but Rodel Richards definitely one to keep your eye out for. So we're going from one player who's young and up and coming onto the next player who probably is coming towards the end of his career, but will offer you loads of experience if you want it in your non-league side. Paul Caddis, formerly of Blackburn, Bradford, Swindon Town most recently, has got some really strong attributes despite now at the age of 33. Obviously offers loads of experience. Physically he's probably not quite there anymore in terms of pace and acceleration, a little bit lower, but technically and mentally it's fantastic. And if you want that set piece taker, 16 penalty taking is his strongest attribute, but can play in a range of positions, most notably right back, but can play defensive midfield, right wing back, and as you can see on his sort of positional map there, sort of can play through the middle of the defence and on the left hand side as well. But if you want to add some experience, look at those mentals, some really strong technicals in those areas as well, and a really good player. We're now looking at another versatile player in the shape of former Ipswich Town man Tristan Abrahams, and again a really strong selection of attributes on Ndam here. Mentally, again, really consistent throughout. Physically, really consistent throughout. And again, technically in the right areas, he's good. A decent passer of the ball and good tackling and technique. I think he'd be a really good sort of almost ball-winning sort of midfielder. But He can play everywhere, left back, left midfield, central midfield, but can also slot in as a defensive midfielder or an attacking midfielder as well, and only 21 years of age. I think that's what's quite key on this list. There is a lot of younger players that, although you can see these attributes now, if you can keep hold of them, one, they're going to raise in value, and two, their attributes are going to improve and they're going to be becoming better players over time. Time to look at another striker now, and we're moving on to Jamal Hector-Ingram, a player that has played for West Ham, Derby County and Stevenage at 22 years of age now, and I think you should have the opportunity to sign him if you're managing a non-league club. Again, some really strong attributes in the right areas, decent long shots at 11, but great finishing and decent pace as well. Like I said earlier, pace, acceleration I think are the key. You get him as an advanced forward, you get him in on goal, and he's going to be putting away those chances. So Hector-Ingram, definitely one to try and grab. Time to look at another striker now. It's someone a little bit more experienced. This time we're looking at Rhys Thomas, most recently at Notts County, but again a really strong player in the right areas. Not quite as quick as some of the other players that we've had a look at, but technically and mentally very good. Again, on the ball, really strong, dribbling good, finishing good, first touch good. Fingers that sort of hold up forward, maybe play him alongside a quicker striker, and you could have a really good player on your side. Now we're moving on to a centre-back. We're looking at Mayunga here, who was a free agent most recently at Wolves. Also played for Lyon before that. And he's a really good young centre-back. Great physicals. But again, in the key areas really you want for a defender. Good heading, marking, tackling, decent bravery. He's got all of those really. And I think for, again, a young player that's going to raise in value. He's tall. His attributes are going to improve. Definitely one to try and get into your non-league side. And the final player on my list is going to be Conor O'Malley. He's a goalkeeper, and in terms of goalkeepers, 26 years of age, you could say he's quite a young goalkeeper. So lots of time left in his career as well. Played for Peterborough most recently, but a really decent set of attributes on him, to be honest. I think as in terms of non-league goalkeepers, you're going to have a lot of goalkeepers, a little bit more experienced. But I think with O'Malley, again, you get some really strong attributes in good areas, and a player that's value is going to increase and attributes are going to increase over time. But guys, that is my list of 10 players you should be looking at non-league level. Players that are available on a free transfer at the start of the game. With some of these, I think you're definitely going to have to be quick. A lot of these players, when I've started up a game, are already wanted by teams, but these players are 100% going to improve your team. And looking at them, I think I've given you pretty much a range of players across the pitch. We've seen goalkeepers, defenders, fullbacks, midfielders, wingers, and a few strikers in there as well. As always, guys, be sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you managed to sign any of these players, let me know in the comment section down below and how you get on with them. But until next time, I'll see you all very soon.